what was happening at the parties. So the NCAA decided that there were two options for Compton University. He told They told Nipsey, told the athletic director, and they told the president as principal, Crescent Porter, that you guys have two options. Now, they could either erase and suffer a lifetime ban, erase the history of Compton, and also suffer either a max lifetime ban or minimum 8-year to 10-year ban. But their records, their awards, everything that they did in the 10 seasons will be erased from history if they take option one. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Option one is they could either suffer maximum a 10-year ban, minimum 8, 8, 9, 10 years at most ban, or or the option two, they stop the program in general and keep all the records, they keep all the trophies. Since Compton was a fan favorite and Compton brought them in a lot of money, they decided that, hey, maybe you guys could just stop the program in general and go out the way y'all did. To stop the program in general, y'all could just go out being 10-time national champions. You guys are being kept on the record books and everyone wins here. So, 8 years after Compton University was no longer had a football program, they decided to turn a new leaf. Of course, after the whole incident and tragedy thing, they didn't really have a principal or head or president of the school. They didn't really have that. So they looked to an old friend, the person who started this entire program, Jason Jenkins, the former quarterback and the first quarterback for Compton University. Now Jason's impact basically started the whole thing for Compton. He basically started this whole entire program, to say the least. Without him winning Heisman and going first overall, he basically put Compton on the map in their first year alone. With him doing the unthinkable, having an unknown school basically have a Heisman Trophy win in the first year. So after Jenkins' NFL days, he decided to see if he could be the president or the principal of the school, Compton University. They accepted him with open arms, and he is the new principal of Compton. Now, the year, like I said, it's 8 years after 2015. We're currently in 2023, in which Jenkins has this idea. He first talked to Nipsey about it. He told Nipsey that he wants to go to the NCAA and talk to them about possibly bringing back Compton University and reinstating their football program, even though he knows it's going to be a very hard task, even though they said that you have to stop the program in general. But one thing that they never said was, they never said anything about it coming back. They just said they had to stop the program. They never said that they could make a comeback. So Jason Jenkins and Nipsey, they were on the phone for a good minute, and Nipsey basically told Jason, if you can bring this program back, I might come back. I might come out of retirement and I might come and coach. So here's what he did. Jason Jenkins, along with an entourage of former Compton University players, some as you see on the screen, from the original roster, guys like Fulton, Bradford, Joseph, AJ, Jason, Drew, Dred Hurst, Dan Perkins. The list goes on of the amount of Compton alumni / Toronto Dragons players who also helped the program and also basically mentored most of the players that are in the NFL. And also they liked Compton University as a program because they could relate to each other. Toronto was that new team in the NFL that everyone slept on and they didn't expect to be dominant. Same thing with Compton. Both of them can relate to each other in a lot of ways. So the fact that they were connected, well, it always holds a special place in both teams' hearts. So what they did was they went together, including the greatest athlete of all time, Donovan Rose. He also attended the NCAA meeting. Now the meeting lasted up until an hour long. Unless everybody was there and they was talking to the board. This was after the national championship in which Georgia decimated TCU. That's when Jason knew that Compton needed to make a return because they couldn't sit back and watch that shit. Watching teams like TCU make the national championship and getting mollywopped by Georgia, even though 70 to nothing, 77 to nothing against Texas A&M in that championship happened in Compton. That's neither here or there. So basically, Jenkins had the final remarks of what he thinks of the program and why he thinks it should come back. Here is what Jason said. So, Jason Jenkins, I'm quoting Jason Jenkins on this one. Jenkins got on the board, and here's what he said. To the NCAA, I know it has been a rough couple years. I know a lot of things have happened, but a lot of things has changed since I became the president and principal of Compton University. I will also take over the athletic director portion of the university as well. I will be working a double job. Now, we're not the same Compton team that we was when we first started. We're under new management. We have a brand new staff, a brand new team, and these kids, a lot of people on this campus, they want to bring back Compton University. More importantly, the fans. Think of how college football is nowadays, how a lot of teams focus more on the pass and how they have a great defense and how they get DBs who could possibly play both sides of the ball, can catch the football like a receiver, but can defend like a corner. That's what Compton University was. We helped transcend what football is today, along with the Toronto Dragons. We helped transcend football as a whole. Now I know there's a lot of controversy, a lot of bad name that happened with our program. A lot of things happened, but that was in the past. That was under a corrupted management. And as a former student of the university, quite frankly, I never liked Grenson Porter, anyways. But what I'm here to say to the NCAA is that Compton University, think of the program when what the program in school have done for the community. People who went to Compton, who lived in Compton, guys like Drew Holmes, guys like AJ Ortiz. Look at all those guys who went to Compton, who lived in Compton for most of their lives. And the moment they heard about a school opening up and they had a football program, they not only was they out of the hood, they also was able to take school a little more seriously and still be close by their families. It was a win-win situation for them, and they got to perform at the top highest level in the NCAA in Division One ball. And that's exactly what we did. We took a lot of guys that people slept on, that people didn't expect to be anything, and we turned them into stars. Look at Dred Hurst. Arguably, not even arguably, the greatest college athlete of all time, winning 3 Heismans and 3 national championships. No one expected Hurst to be the player that he was his freshman year. I remember people were bashing Dred Hurst, saying that he's arguably one of the worst quarterbacks in Compton University history. Hurst knows it firsthand, but he went from that to arguably one of the best in the entire nation and one of the best this school had to offer. And think about that. Think about how that brung in recruits, how that brung in fans. Fans were invested to see how one person single-handedly won 3 straight Heisman Trophy awards. That has never been done and won't be done in the history of college football. Also, look at the amount of records. Look at our stat sheet. Look at everything that we have done. We are the first school, and I know you guys are not going to admit this, and I know the media does not, well, talks about it from time to time, but they don't talk about it as much as they talk about Mahomes 24/7. What we did was we won 10 straight Heisman Trophy awards. What university? What school? Not even your Alabamas, not even your Georgias, your Floridas, your Florida States, your Oregon, your Texas A&M, Texas, the USC's. Not even those schools has had 10 consecutive Heisman Trophy winners. We had me, we had Fulton, we had Drew, we had Hurst 3 times. We had Luke Cook, we had Ty Verix, and we had Kevin Jermaine back to back. Think about it. Think about the history that this university created, and not only that, Think of the fans and how many fans televised to all of our games. Every game that Compton University played after their second season was like a big game atmosphere, especially when it was against a ranked team. You guys knew that the whole entire country was invested and that they wanted to watch to see what is Compton University going to do, because y'all know every time we had a game, we either dominated or it was a great game between two great teams. That's what Compton University is. That's what we are. And if we bring that back for today, I promise you, we will triple, we will double the amount of money that you guys made in the first 10 years that we did. You guys will make more money now. And I know you guys have your new conference realignment and all that. We're simply asking to be part of the independence again. We'd like to schedule our own games like we did before, go up against our own teams. Now, eventually, when the time is right, when if you reinstate this program, we would like to join the Big Ten along with our rivals, Cal and USC and UCLA. We'd like to join them in that conference because, quite frankly, we have some unfinished business with most of the teams in that conference. But enough about that. Also, NFL play. Look at the NFL players that went to Compton most of these guys are Hall of Famers. Roger Joseph, Lehigh Fulton, Cameron Owens, Dan Perkins. The list goes on of a lot of Compton players who are first ballot Hall of Famers in both college and NFL. For example, look at Lehigh Fulton. Lehigh Fulton has been consistent throughout his entire career, going over 1,000 yards each and every single one of his seasons. He has went over 1,000 yards, being one of the most consistent and one of the best receivers in the league, along with guys like Roger Joseph who hold their own. And also, I can't really speak for myself because, unfortunately, I played for the Bears and the Toronto Dragons, quite frankly, kicked my ass most of the time. But that's neither here or there. Also, guys like Travis Tate, dominating defense. And you guys want to talk about how defense is, not really the same, because I know a lot of the people in the media don't like, all the fans don't like how defense was. You guys remember how our defense was. We dominated. We left teams on either 14 or they were lucky enough to even get 20 points on us. I know some of you guys didn't like those type of games, but that's what it was. Every time Compton was up against tough competition, we didn't choke. We dominated. We left it all in the field, and the fans loved it. The fans came back every time. And also think about the amount of celebrity support that we had. Guys like Kendrick, guys like Snoop, guys like Dr. Dre, guys like Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Ice Cube. The amount of celebrities that supported this program helped made it to what it is and helped made it even more popular, even though at the time we could not get paid for most of the things that we were doing, but they were helping the program in general by promoting the program. Some of them were wearing shirts even though they couldn't really have our jersey numbers on them, but they helped made Compton more visible and they helped make Compton more loved. And the more loved the Compton was, the more dominant we was, and the more that people wanted to see more of Compton. Nowadays, you guys have teams like Georgia thinking that they're the best dynasty, or teams like Alabama thinking they're the greatest dynasty in college football history, when in reality, they're not. I'm going to tell you this right here at NCAA. You guys are probably not going to like this. All of your teams, all of your precious, prestigious schools, we have beaten, we have dominated, and we have decimated them all in our time. Think about it. Can you name a time when UCLA beat us? USC only beat us once, and they never beat us again. Think about that. Think about all the prestigious teams, the Floridas that we had a pleasure of having a great rivalry with. It was a great rivalry with Florida. The great rivalry with Michigan, which was an underrated rivalry that we had, even Ohio State. All the prestigious schools we had great games and great rivalries with, and I'm pretty sure if you reinstate us, they will love nothing more but to get another shot at us. Cause think about it. Look what we did in their primes. Look what we did when they had national championship level teams, and we just decimated them like it was nothing. Think about that. Think about the fans and think about how much they are going to love this. How they're going to love that Compton is back and this generation could see how dominant Compton could be. And think about the amount of recruits and former players are going to be interested in this university. Because think of all of the things that Compton University has done. numerous national titles. Nipsey Lamar is the only head coach in college football history to win 8 national championships, let alone all of it being in a row. And think about what this program has not only done for you, but for the community and for the players. It helped traject a lot of people's lives who these kids, guys like Drew Holmes and A.G. Ortiz, they didn't see themselves being multiple time Super Bowl champions and arguably the best in their positions in both pros and college. They didn't see that. They just thought, I'm gonna play football. I'm gonna try to achieve my dream. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. Because look at all the people that you see here today. Look at Nipsey Lamar, arguably the greatest head coach in sports in general. Excuse me. What I'm saying here is also think about the matchups. Ooh, I got your attention with that one now, did I? I got your attention with the possible matchups that guys could have. See, I said it before, independence. We just want independence. That's all we want. Then eventually, when the time is right, we'll like to go to the Big Ten, as I stated before. But we'll like to take on teams that think about this as a money grab, because I know you guys love that now, even more than y'all did before. Think about it. Deion Sanders and Colorado take on the returning Compton University Generals in a prime time game, and Compton's wearing all black. See, a lot. I saw a lot of you guys nod your head. I see a lot of guys like that idea. I got another one. How about we renewed one of the best rivalries that we have had, and arguably one of the greatest rivalries of the 2000s heading into the 2010s? Compton, Florida. Got y'all with that one too. Compton in Florida. Well, we always went back and forth. It was always fun to watch, especially in the national championship games. That's when Florida and Compton excelled expectations and were very fun to watch. Of course, USC, UCLA, California, Stanford. Of course, those are all teams we're going to go up against. Also, Florida State, Michigan, Ohio State, and also Alabama. I got y'all with that one too, because I know you guys love Alabama. I know, and it's a little bit personal for me and a lot of these alumni. Alabama thinks that they are the best dynasty in college football, but in reality, they haven't won 8 straight national championships, nor had 10 straight Heisman Trophy winners, and let alone had any, let's just say, any Alabama quarterback that has really succeeded in the NFL. As you see, well, most of us, we have. We're not bust. We bust our ass. We tried our best. Dealt with the cards that we were dealing with. I'm gonna say that I had some off days. I wasn't really the best because, again, I played for the Chicago Bears, going up against the Toronto Dragons 2 times a year. X Hunter Tate, Dan Perkins, and for former Toronto Dragons players have those games went. They didn't really go well in my favor. But that's neither here or there. But think of also, speaking about NFL talent, think of all the NFL talent that Compton had. Cameron Owens, had one of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time. Joseph, like I said before, one of the most consistent receivers in NFL history. Dan Perkins broke the record for most picks in a single season. Come on now. So what I'm saying here is NCAA, and I'm gonna end this on this remark. Think about the money. Think about the fans. Think about the community. Think about how much they could impact them again with the resurgence of Compton. Because Compton was this city's life. They loved Compton. They always came to the games. They always came to the rallies. And it always kept people off the streets. Instead of people killing each other in the streets, they just said, yo, you want to watch the Compton game? They went, they either got tickets, they either went to a friend's house and they watched it, chilled at a barbershop, chilled at a restaurant, and watched Compton University. That's how big we was for this program, for this entire community, and for the world, and for the college football world. So, I'm going to end this here. You bring us back. We will bring you more money. We are a better school. We're under a better system. And I promise you this, promise you, Compton University will be on on the mountaintop once again, as undoubtedly the favorites as we was every single year, getting better and better at recruiting and making better prospects for the NFL draft, and also providing futures for all of these kids who want to be in the NFL. I am Jason Jenkins. You guys have my number. You guys know where I'm at. Call me when you guys have a response and an answer. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.